Welcome back, Pokeloguers, to our Pokelogue Battle Series. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. And before we get started with today's episode, I just want to say a massive thank you to the 13 subscribers the channel currently has, and all the lovely likes and comments I've been getting along the way. It really doesn't go unnoticed, and it's truly appreciated by me. I was doing this for fun anyway, just uploading videos and content and voicing over them. However, it's really letting me know that you guys want to see more and more of it. Speaking of more and more of it, I'm going to opt to just upload every other day at the moment. Reason being is it just allows me to practice with teams in between episodes, as we'll obviously be changing teams every couple of episodes, and in most cases I want to be actually building the teams myself in game, so obviously it gives me time to do that and then practice with the team before I show it off to you guys. That also being said, I'm actually at the moment building a team in-game based around beat up Cobalion. However, that isn't the main core of the team, and obviously in team preview you can kind of trick your opponent into thinking it is, so they lead something that's very offensive against Cobalion, so maybe ground types or fighting types or fire types. And we have plenty of counters in the form of Gmax Lapras, Togekiss, Dragapult and Incineroar on the team too. So it's a lot of mind games going on that, but there is still the option to go for a very fast beat up in from Whimsicott into Cobalion. So I'm looking forward to showcasing that to you guys in episode 6, as this is episode 5. And without further ado, let's get started with today's battles. Okay, so straight away I'm spotting the size spam stuff. Rotom Wash. Our counter to that is the Chandelier with its Energy Ball. Does Energy Ball seem like a pretty... Yeah, I suppose it does pretty decent damage to the Tyranitar as well. What I'm opting for is, just in case they're in the size spam stuff, I'm going to go for Chandelier. And do I want to go for Chandelier here? No, I'm actually going to go for Excadrill and Talonflame. I believe this worked out for us in a previous episode. I think it was against the no, that was Sylveon and Oranguru, wasn't it? Did Sylveon and Oranguru work here? The Monoton's pretty quick. Tyranitar's not. Cinderace is pretty fast though. Yeah, don't hate this play actually. Go for these two as a lead. Chandelier in the back. Because I think with the threat of Alakazam and Cinderace, I think Darmanitan are actually like super fast. So and with Cinderace's access to being able to increase its own speed as well, it just provides a bit too much of a threat to bring conkeldurr. I feel like fighting is just not optimal at the moment. I've noticed a massive drop in the use of Urshifu as well. It doesn't seem like anybody can find the room to bring it. Lapras has actually gone up in usage a lot. I think that's probably to counter when rain became quite common, with Freeze Dry being 4 times super effective against Kindra and 2 times against Politoed, and obviously Lapras being a lot bulkier overall. So my opponent does go for the size spam lead, which I suppose in most scenarios does seem like a pretty solid option. The double spread damage, it's very similar to the early usage of Sun, being Ninetales and Charizard going for a double Heatwave first turn. Even if you Pokemon resist it, tends to do still quite a lot of damage that twice over. Right, do I go for a Yawn here into the Indeedee, expecting a follow me anyway, and then I could always just go for a Hyper Voice here. Regardless, I think that's a pretty safe play, unless I go for a double Yawn, which I don't really see the point in. Does my opponent have slower Pokemon than me in the back? I don't think I do. Okay, we'll go for a Trick Room here. And I'll actually go for a Hyper Voice anyway, just to get some damage off. And then, because that'll increase our special attack. Okay, that's not looking too good. This might one-hit KO Sylveon, even with its pretty impressive special defense stat and HP investment. Okay, it doesn't. Okay, so Indeedee there with showing its impressive bulk. I'm pretty sure it's followed the seed at the beginning of this. Right, so pass the life orb over, get the Trick Room off. Okay, that's looking pretty solid now. So if they do have Cinderace in the back, we would want them to we want to force them to bring it out here. So what we could do is go for a yawn, as I feel like that's probably what's going to be switching out. Yeah, I think that's my best play here. And maybe actually go for a protect. Because I don't really want Sylveon to get knocked out here. Do they have something that's super slow that could underspeed the Sylveon at 80 speed? Tyranitar's such a funny one, like, some people run it a little bit faster, don't they? I'm going to actually go for a safer play of clicking protect here. We'll get the yawn off onto the Indeedee or whatever switches in. Okay, so there's no switch, which is great. So we get the yawn off onto the Indeedee. Alakazam actually protects here, which is good. Got a feeling the Indeedee is actually going to go for a expanding force here. Psychic, okay, so it doesn't actually even run expanding force, which is weird considering it's the one that's setting it. Maybe it's to avoid the spread damage filtering out, but I just don't feel like you even have to think about that. Right, so we know that the Indeedee was targeting down my Sylveon, so roughly the Alakazam might switch out here. The Indeedee also has a reason to switch out too. Do I want to reveal Aloy Switch this soon? I think so, because I think the Indeedee stays in just to KO the Sylveon because they think, well, I'm not going to be able to knock it out this turn. Yeah, I'm going to go for that, and then we'll go for a Hyper Voice, which will pick up the KO on the Alakazam and do some good damage to the Indeedee. Okay, so they do actually opt to switch out the Indeedee into Rotom, so we'll get some good solid damage off on the Rotom. And Alakazam here, if it doesn't get the double protect off, it's not actually opting for... No, it would have gone before the Ally switch. This picks up the KO on the Alakazam. Great. And does such impressive damage to the Rotom. That's phenomenal damage there. Okay, so even though we took all that damage that first turn, it goes to show that like we're not actually in that bad a position. I'm a little bit annoyed that I had to reveal the Ally switch so early on. However, the threat was too big for the Indeedee to knock us out in return, so what we're going to do here is go for a Hyper Voice again. I'm actually going to just go for another Yawn onto the Indeedee here. I'm expecting Sylveon to get knocked out, obviously. Okay, Rotom protects. Maybe I should have anticipated that. I think we're getting a little bit trigger happy here, so the Indeedee will fall asleep next turn. We'll get some good damage off onto the Indeedee here, considering a Life Orb and stab, all the good things basically. Yep, and because it's single target. And then the Indeedee goes for a Psychic just to pick up the KO on the Sylveon, which is absolutely fine. Pretty sure we've got at least one more turn of Trick Room here, so I'm thinking to go for the Indeedee. I'm assuming if it has no speed investment, which I doubt it does, it will outspeed Chandelure. So he's actually the better option. We don't have Mold Breaker though, so I can't hit the Rotom if I go for Earthquake. I think what I'm going to do here is go into Chandelure. The Rotom's probably going to get a bit impulsive here to want to hit Hydro Pump. However, I've got a good feeling that the Heat Wave will actually pick up the KO from here onto the Rotom. And even if it doesn't, what I'm actually going to opt for is Ally switching again here. But then again, there's nothing stopping me from clicking Protect on... How many times of Trick Room left? Is it one? Okay, one. I feel like I need to go on the offensive here, so I'm going to actually just go for a Heat Wave and an Ally switch, because I've got a feeling that I might actually go for a double up here, worrying that there's a Sash. Okay, follow me. Doesn't matter because we're going for Heat Wave. I think I was going for an Energy Ball or a Shadow Ball. Heat Wave comes out. We are actually faster than the Rotom under Trick Room, and it does pick up the double KO, which is brilliant. Yeah, I think with Chandelure's impressive special attack stat, there's just no going around the fact that it's probably going to pick up some pretty sick KOs on even Pokemon that resist it. So I don't think we've seen our opponent's last Pokemon here. Was it? Yeah, get Cinderace. So it doesn't. There's nothing saying that my opponent's in an awful position here, really. I've got a feeling they're going to probably try and take out the Oranguru over the Chandelier. But what we can actually do here is go for a Trick Room. Because if we go for Yawn, what would totally change itself to? Probably change itself to a Dark type. So the Trick Room. Maybe we want to lock it into that then instead. I feel like there's a good chance we don't get anything off here anyway. So with the Oranguru, I don't want to ally switch and get Chandelier took out. So I'm gonna go for Trick Room so we know that we're faster. I'm actually gonna opt to just go for a Heat Wave here. Because the Cinderace is probably going to go for a Dark type move into the Oranguru just to stop any Trick Room going up. Any more Trick Rooms going up. My opponent doesn't have to worry about worrying about the ally switch, as no matter what they're hit with Max Darkness, they're going to pick up the KO on it. Max Steel Spike, okay. That's actually brilliant for us, even if it gets into the Chandelier, that doesn't pick up the KO. The Oranguru actually hangs on here. So what actually is going to happen here to our opponent is pretty unfortunate. We're going to get a Heat Wave off and we're going to pick up the one hit KO. I was actually going to go more in depth. That crit I don't think mattered at all. What I was going to say there was the fact that if we'd have gone for a Heat Wave that turn and not picked up the one hit KO, our Oranguru would have gone for a Trick Room next turn, which would have allowed Chandelier to move first. Meaning that we pick up another, we're allowed to get off another Heat Wave, which would have definitely picked up the KO there. So a pretty clean win for our first game here, guys. So let's jump straight into the second one. Okay, so pretty obviously on the left there, you've got a Rain team. So do they have they don't have a committed Rain setter in the form of, say, a Politoed or a Pelipper. The things to probably watch out for on this team is going to be the Sharpedo, maybe speed boosting, so we might want to take that out as fast as we possibly can. Looking at the team composition, the only things that really actually threaten Conkeldurr, I feel like my opponent wants to go pretty quick with this team, with the Sharpedo speed boosting and stuff like that. And even if the Gastrodon operates pretty well outside of under Trick Room, it doesn't really do too much to us, especially if I can keep Conkeldurr on the field. I'm maybe thinking to go for Conkeldurr and Sylveon here, and then we've got the opportunity to self-prop our weakness policy if we want to. Conkeldurr does pretty well against Sharpedo to the... I think that's pretty fine. Maybe we don't need to worry about speed control too much. And then maybe bring Chandelier for the Gastrodon, the Azumarill, and, well, the Sharpedo as well, and the Starmie with Energy Ball. And the next Excadrill is pretty clutch, usually with its Focus Sash, as long as we don't take any chip damage, which it doesn't look like we will. So let's see how we get on. I wouldn't mind actually finding a way to feature Sharpedo on a team. I feel like a lot of people don't like it because it's so, like, frail. I don't even think it's worth calling it a glass cannon, really. I don't think it has a massive damage attack stat, so it's not really going to get a hell of a lot off before it gets KO'd. Obviously then you have to use the Focus Sash on it as well, and it might be optimal on another member of your team. Okay, so Ludicolo doesn't learn Follow Me, however it does unfortunately learn Fake Out. So what I'm actually going to go for here, which my opponent might not be expecting, is go for a Dynamax and go for a Max Ooze onto the Azumarill and actually protect the Sylveon, because I don't want to take any damage at all, really. I don't really see them faking out the Conkeldurr, not since they're expecting us to Dynamax it at all, but especially in the face of an Azumarill, but mainly because it doesn't really do too much to my opponent. Poison Jab isn't a move that most Conkeldurrs run, so, and obviously this will increase Sylveon's special attack stat too, from behind protect. So if that works out the way I think it will, it'll be a pretty good first turn, because I've got a feeling that the Ludicolo is there to fake out anything that really threatens the Azumarill, and then the Azumarill is going to go for a Belly Drum. So obviously the more damage we get onto the Azumarill the better, because then when it uses, I'm assuming it's probably got a berry, so if it uses Belly Drum, eats its berry, it's not going to be as high health as it would like to be going into the following turn. So Fake Out goes out into Sylveon as predicted, and then Azumarill goes for a Belly Drum again as predicted. So we're going to get some pretty good damage off here onto the Azumarill, considering it's already brought itself down. And there's the citrus berry. It's about 65%. Well, it's 75. Okay, Maxus. This should do at least 50% damage, so it'll bring it down to about a quarter. Okay, a little bit less than that. So what I'm actually thinking here is do that up to Dynamax Azumarill here, because I don't think I would. Pretty sure Azumarill's pretty slow, which is its sort of problem. As a Pokemon, that's why it needs like Fake Out and Follow Me support from its ally. I don't think there's anything wrong really here. Me going for a Maxis onto Ludicolo. I'm going for a quick attack onto the Azumarill. That should pick up the one hit KO. The Sylveon, our Sylveon is fully invested in attack IVs, literally for these sort of moments, because there's been times where, yeah, I think that must be the Ludicolo Dynamaxing then. And there's been times where I've gone for a Max Knuckle, and obviously that's actually, and they are actually Dynamaxing the Azumarill. I'm not sure whether the quick attack's going to pick up the KO from this range. Azumarill looks like a pretty bulky Pokemon. I'm not too sure on its stats. Okay. Yeah, it did about half damage, so that would have knocked it out if it didn't go for the Dynamax there. And unfortunately, we get frozen. Okay, Max Air Strength, pick up the one hit KO onto conkeldurr. Yeah, pretty unfortunate with the freeze as well, because we could just go for another quick attack next turn onto the Azumarill. Okay, so at least conkeldurr got a special attack boost onto our Sylveon. So, who do I opt for here? Pretty sure we could just go for... Don't think there's anything stopping us from going for a... I'm not sure Heat Wave picks up the KO on the Azumarill, even if it does connect. However, it'll do some good neutral damage to Ludicolo. That's providing that Sylveon doesn't thaw out this turn, which I'm not sure it will. Chandelure should be the fastest thing on the field if I've not completely butchered my speed knowledge here. I'm pretty sure Heat Wave should pick up the KO if it connects onto the Azumarill there. And then I think it would just go for a Hyper Voice and hope we wake up. Thaw out, sorry. Okay, Ludicolo is actually faster. It's going for an Ice Beam onto Sylveon, just getting some more chip damage onto it. Probably hoping it'll help us stay frozen. Azumarill is actually faster than us. Sylveon thaws out, and we get a Hyper Voice off, which is great. Doesn't do as much damage to the Ludicolo as I'd like. I feel like maybe the Azumarill's hanging on there might have had something to do with, on about the Maxus, sorry, might have had something to do with the low roll, I'd like to think. But conkeldurr doesn't have any investment in attack due to it being defensively typed, and then the idea is that Sylveon gets off a quick attack to enable it. This matchup's not looking too fantastic now, since we haven't really got any way of dealing with the Gastrodon pretty solidly. We will outspeed the Gastrodon, however, what we could do here is go for a... That Ludicolo is pretty bulky actually. I just realised we've got +2 in special attack now, so we're not going to obviously one-hit KO it, so we could just go for a Protect onto the Excadrill. Go for a Yawn. Probably not actually. I think we just keep clicking Hyper Voice here. The Gastrodon could also go for a Yawn onto us, so Protect Excadrill just in case Ludicolo is feeling like it wants to target that down with a Scald or something. Ludicolo goes for another Ice Beam onto Sylveon. Hopefully we don't get frozen again. Get a Hyper Voice off. Almost one-hit KO the Gastrodon with a critical hit. Okay, Muddy Water. And Sylveon avoids. I feel that's pretty justified. Okay, there's nothing really stopping me here from going for a double Protect just in case. I got a feeling that Ludicolo, yeah, especially now, I just realised the rain being up, the Ludicolo definitely will outspeed Excadrill, so I feel like going for double Protect here just because there's no real reason to not. If we don't get the Protect, at least the Focus Sash will save us from getting one hit KO'd. And then just going for a Hyper Voice and knocking out these two here. Do we get it? We don't, unfortunately. And Gastrodon actually goes for a Protect itself. Ludicolo goes for a Hydro Pump. And yep, that's something that I've definitely done myself. He's forgot completely affect Gastrodon's Storm Drain ability. This doesn't really save my opponent too much here, since the Gastrodon is being outsped by Sylveon and Excadrill at this point. We'll heal a little bit back with his leftovers, but depending on what my opponent has in the back, I'd say this game's pretty much sealed up. You never want to really speak too soon. You don't want to jinx yourself. Okay, Sharpedo. So Sharpedo will outspeed both of my mons here. It could actually just go for Protect to ensure that it does outspeed. However, we've both used our Dynamax. There's nothing really stopping me from actually going for a Protect here. I'm worried that the Sharpedo is carrying something that probably could do a lot of damage to Sylveon and maybe knock it out. So I don't know whether it's in my best interest to actually just go for a Rock Slide to ensure some damage. Maybe even, yeah. Thinking maybe to go for an Earthquake and go for a Protect onto the Sylveon. I've got a feeling that Sharpedo is going to go for something into Sylveon, since the Gastrodon will probably confidently pick up a KO without, then my opponent not knowing I've got a Focus Sash. Brilliant, so it does know Poison Jab. That's quite good information for me to know going forward into future matchups against other Sharpedos. Okay, so Earthquake picks up some pretty solid damage. Almost one hit KO in the Sharpedo. And Sharpedo gets a speed boost, so that's not going to matter, because next time I'm just going to go for a quick attack into that slot and seal up the game. I've got to say, this team really doesn't have many outs when it comes to Water-type Pokemon. It really, really struggles against Water-types. I could really do with Gastrodon on this team, just to soak up these Water-type attacks. I was actually opting for Lapras. I like the core. I like Excadrill, Talonflame, Chandelure and Sylveon for the damage output and stuff, and like the coverage, but I just felt like the water type water typing really makes my 3 out of 4 of those Pokemon struggle. So there's no real reason for it's a tough one. I feel like what I'm gonna have to do is next episode I'm just gonna have to completely go in fresh and bring you guys a brand new team, because this team I think is a bit said and done with the current meta. This team was absolutely phenomenal pre-DLC. Like the Sandro having such a strong presence in the early meta when the game first launched. So that being Excadrill and Tyranitar, which Conkeldurr does fantastically against. Dragapult, which could be quite a common counter to Conkeldurr to render it useless. We had Sylveon for. So we had a lot of answers to even just 3 of the strongest Pokemon in the meta back then. However, it seems since the DLC dropped, we've obviously seen new threats come our way, and my opponents, even in team preview, seem to have the advantage of the fact that they know my team better than I know theirs, since they've gone up against my team a million times and I haven't gone up against theirs half as many times. So even with the strategy as complex as the weakness policy Conkeldurr that we've been running, you saw that there just wasn't a chance for me to bring it, unfortunately, and I'd have loved to have showcased it, but it just wasn't possible. And at least we picked up 2 very nice wins in this game. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, guys, and for the next episode I'm actually going to opt for a little bit more of a what's current in the meta kind of team. So we're going to be using like some beat up and Cobalion stuff, partnered with the G-Max Lapras and possibly a Dragapult actually. Still working out the kinks of the team, but you can expect to see that 2 days from the day that this episode actually launched. So yeah, if you enjoyed, guys, please leave a like and a comment. And if you want to see more of this and you want to be notified for when I actually do upload, hit the subscribe and the notification bell, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you soon.